So in our Taoism practice, we practice the three main areas. So the first one is called Shen Gong, and the second the Qi Gong, and the third one is Jing Jiao Gong. So this is the basic level you start with. So maybe I just explain a bit what is Shen Gong. Now Shen Gong is a art where the after when you before you practice this Taoism, you will have a the master to initiate you to practice this art so that you can practice in safety. Because in the Shen Gong stage, it's an art where you are uh, connected to the divine realm for them to guide you in a way to move and exercise or stretch your body so that you will what I call improve your health. You will what I call maybe uh, or if you have pain or joint or some mobility issue. These are some of the areas they start to help through this practice, the Senko, because it will help you in a self-guided movement. So this movement will start to stretch your body, turn your body, things like that. Again, the next stage is Qigong. Qigong is a stage where you teach you the art of how you can uh, utilize or absorb the energy from the air you breathe, how you can accumulate this energy and how you can change this energy in this state. What you call is the chi. But the chi, when it's in a concentrated form, it alchemizes, it changes state. And sometimes we refer this to become the Jing Dan or the X-ray of healing. You create your own medication for healing yourself. And scientifically, it has been proven by scientists that when you practice this, actually your level of your hormone, your enzyme, the serotonin, the melatonin, all these good, enzymes and all that are increased. And when they are increased to a level, of course, they help you in your healing. And then the third component is the Jing Jiao Gong. Jing Jiao Gong basically is meditation. So if you have a calm mind and when your mind is calm, you will be able uh, to have a clarity of your mind, a clarity of thought. And with that, of course, a lot of people do not realize, that how many breaths you use in a day. Just for example, if you take your heartbeat 72 per minute, that means 101 in one day, our heartbeat 100 over 1,000 times. Now, basically, if you learn how to calm yourself down through meditation, you can bring your breath down. Normally, you can just easily, when you learn this method, you can bring your average heartbeat from 72, you can just bring down to 60. With further practice, even lower, 50, 55, and so it's quite achievable. Of course, some people can even go to lower than that. That's why, for example, the yogis and things like that, the average heartbeat is only like 40 or something like that. Yeah. At the same time, that is actually the key secret in our life. How you can manage between the space of your breath. That is the big secret of longevity. Because if you can calm down your mind, you can calm down your heartbeat, at the same time reduce the number of breaths. A lot of people don't even know how many breaths they take in a minute. So I'll just give you an example. Average, maybe 12 to 15 breaths in a minute. But when we do meditation, you can drop down to easily. You don't mind. And of course, in certain techniques, You can do a breath, 1 minute, or even 1.5 minutes. Yeah, for certain specific type of training. In fact, uh, sometimes when you practice this, it become automatic. You will find certain time your breath stop. Your breath stop. So ideally, I think this is a way that you slow down your body. So basically, the body is just like a car, the odometer. You may have a lifespan of like 500,000 kilometers. So if you know how to manage, always having a calm mind, calm, what call breath, and lower your heartbeat. This scientifically has been called the coherence of the heart. When all these three components, your brain activity, your heart, and your breath, are at the optimum point, that's where you function the best. The least wear and tear in the body. So basically, like if you maintain it well, average car maybe 500,000. But if you do extra care in protection, the car can easily run for another 100 or 200,000. There have been instances, for example, the Volvo car, they run more than 1,000,000 miles, down the clock. So this is the same, like a human body. So next slide, please. Next one, soon. Okay. Okay, Shen Gong. A little bit on Shen Gong. Okay. So the Shen Gong is self-guided movement. Yeah. So most of the time, you have starts when there are blockages in your meridian. When the qi is blocked, the blood cannot flow fully. That's what the Chinese say. When the blood is not flowing fully, then the disease manifests. Yeah. So the qi is the precursor. The qi will bring the blood, the nourishment to the cell. So if the qi is blocked, blood flow is impeded. So that's why it's important to clear your meridian. But a lot of people do not know actually sometimes what is wrong with that. Yeah. So the unique part of this Shen Gong is everybody is an individual. Everybody will move differently. Yeah. If I have time, I will show you. Actually, there's some early diagram of this Taoism. They were discovered like 2000, or it was discovered like maybe 50 odd years ago. It was a silk painted drawings of various form of movement. Actually, this form of movement are form the basis of some of this Tai Chi movement today. But these are structured movement. In our form of this Shen Gong, the movement are not structured. Because everybody is an individual and everybody, the problem is unique to himself or herself. So I've seen in many cases, for example, once the people got initiated when they practice this Shen Gong, they move in a very unusual movement to solve their problem. Yeah, I have seen people, they start to move like as if their spine is moving like an S curve like that. It's like moving like a snake. It's curving in and out. And then that shows us that he has some issue. Normally, a lot of people have some issue in the L3, L4 area. That's why you have backache and things like that. And also because of the age and all that, there's always degeneration in the joint. Sometimes the joint already get fused up. So sometimes because of this, there's this inflexibility and that cause pain and all that. So when they start to practice, you find that they start to move in this guided movement. They will start to move by themselves. And then there are some people, because of maybe of the breathing issue, they will not do any movement. I would see them just maybe in a sitting position, and then the head can touch the floor, motionless. And actually they are doing a kind of a specific type of breathing, which we call a 鬼戏 in Chinese. Then we translate in English is like turtle breath. So turtle is what called noted for its longevity. Yeah. So this is how this type of qigong help you. So certain people move differently. I have people, ladies, who join us, and then because of certain movement, when I see, for example, they keep swinging only the left arm, always swinging, and then I, I told them they might have some issue on the left side of the body. They should further investigate. And true enough, uh, later they discovered they got breast cancer on the left side of the body. So that's why there's always some movement, only particularly on the left hand, and even sometimes the hand will be thumping the chest area. Yeah, so these are some of the signs you can deduce from such practice. Okay, next please. So the purpose also to learn this Tao Su is the what I call the ideal that once you practice this, you can reach a state of what we call 真善美. That is a state where you achieve a kind of a perfect state. That you have good health, you have not only health, you have a good relationship with people. You have, because of course with good health, maybe you have time, you have the ability to achieve some wealth along the way, and you have a good filial children, things like that. Yeah, these are some of the objective of the practice. In Chinese, sometimes we call the Wu Fu, the five prosperity that most people aspire in their life. So it's not just basically on the health. Of course, you also want money, right? So that is also and some recognition, status in your life. Yeah, and of course, most Chinese also have to have good descendant. Not only good descendant, a female descendant as well. Yeah, these are all the important. That's why you see when the Chinese we pray, or in our tradition, when we pray, we use 5 types of food to symbolize this aspiration. Okay, next one. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, in learning this Taoism, actually, or the principle in our Taoism, they are very simple. They are unlike perhaps other religions. You have to study a lot of texts, maybe, but in Taoism, there's no text. There's the only text perhaps was this Tao Te Ching that Lao Tzu wrote. But other than that, they teach us to use your own wisdom, how to be natural. Follow the law of nature, 自然. Yeah, 自然 means you don't go against anything, against the flow of things. Yeah. So, for example, if you know, if the tide is receding and then you are stuck, you just accept it. You can try to call for help, or you can just wait for the tide to come back again. So it's living according to the law of nature instead of trying to go against it. And of course, important thing is to be 逍遥. 逍遥 is to be like carefree, to be like childlike, to be, to enjoy life. rather than be constricted or restricted by a number of rules. You don't do this or don't do that. In our school, there's no such thing as the need to be a vegetarian or something like that. You're free. You're free to eat anything you like in moderation, of course. Don't waste food, something like that. Yeah? And you're advised to practice meditation, very important. Yeah. Once you have the clarity of the mind, they say, the whole universe will surrender to you. So it's important to have that clarity. And of course, the principle of Kong, that means you have to be a little bit devoid of attachment. Empty your mind, empty your heart. And these are some of the issues that a lot of people have in their life because of what I call wanting more and more. Even Gandhi spoke and said that the world has enough for everybody, but not enough for the greed of some. That is the issue. That sometimes less is more, something like this. Yeah. And of course, Wu Wei is, of course, again, is something like a Zhiran Wei, it's non-reacting and allowing the action to take place, allowing to take its course of action. But it doesn't mean also not taking action. For example, like I use back when you're low tide and your boat is got stuck, and then you wait for the tide to come. That's but it means that you must also do something. Maybe in that period you try to repair the boat, or you mend the net, or you do something in preparation for the for the tide to come in. Just like now, like this situation, like the COVID situation, a lot of business they are in trouble. Yeah, but that doesn't mean the end of it. Yeah, we have to start thinking of how that we try to take advantage of the next option or identify what are the areas that we should go and flow with the next upturn. So maybe certain business will be out, and then you just have to forget about it. You have to look at certain things that will, with a new cycle, the new beginning. Yeah. And of course, the most very important part is using your Wu. Wu is how you use your wisdom, actually. Yeah. And this is something very abstract. It cannot be taught. It can only be experienced. I think uh, I saw the writing of Carl Jung. Carl Jung, noted psychologist, brain analysis and all that. And he said that wisdom actually cannot be taught, can only be experienced. And that is very true. So a lot of things, even in the Tao Te Ching, one of the famous quote is, the Tao that is spoken, or the Tao that can be explained, is not the real Tao, or the Tao that is written. Because the real Tao has to be experienced. Yeah. Okay. Next slide. Next. Okay. So okay. Now this is how we maybe give an illustration of how we develop the perception of our Wu. So normally this is only a part of a simple quiz. Actually, in our main website later, we may share to you that we have more than actually 10 lessons. So this is, for example, we always use this to give a simple illustration of how you use your Wu. So like example, when you meet a poisonous snake on the path, what should we do? Should we leave it, or drive it away, or catch it, kill it? So now different people will have a different perception of poisonous snake. If you are a city folk, I think you've never seen poisonous snake. You might just panic, call somebody, or just run away. Yeah. But again, like if we are from a kampong boy like us, we see snakes very often, so that's nothing unnatural to us. Yeah. And if the snake, if you happen to be unlucky, you meet somebody from China, that will always end up in a good snake soup. Yeah. And of course, if you know the value of the gallbladder of the snake and the medicinal properties of the snake, then you may even kill it. Yeah. Now the quiz from here is actually to give you the perception to see that everyone is different. So everyone will react differently. And everyone will react differently because of their level of the perception, the level of their wisdom, and because also the cultural background that will have an impact. Actually, we use this for our Western audience or who wanted to join our sect. So we always use this to test them. So of course, in the West, they are very concerned human rights, animal rights. So they will normally say, they will always try to catch it or release it in the wild, that you will not find them wanting to kill it. But of course, in certain societies like in Asian societies, actually snake is a delicacy. When I was working in Hong Kong, I also enjoy my snake soup there. It's considered a warming food, especially in the winter month. So that again, you see, depend on the society that you are in. So no answer is correct or wrong. Everyone is have their own judgment on this matter, and they will make their arrangement, what I call decision based on their understanding. Okay, next. Oh, this is coming to the same thing. Okay, so if someone kill and what I call, we think that is risking their karma and all that. Well, maybe, but to us is irrelevant whether that will help it to be a notch against the bad karma and things like that. Yeah, because in certain society, for example, some people think that is food, so that is food for them. Yeah. Okay, next one. So this again a discussion. So the who actually is how we perceive things. Yeah, how you perceive things and make the best situation based on the condition there. And then, of course, this must conform with what we call the He Qing, He Fa. That means it must be uh, reasonable, yeah, He, yeah, He Qing, yeah. And He Fa means in compliance with the law. Yeah. That's very important. So, of course, we must practice and abide by what is legal as well. Eh? So that's why we have to practice this concept of everything is okay as long as slowly change over. Yeah. So even for example to kill, yeah, sometimes because your life is threatened, then I think it's reasonable. Even the law would not fine you to what I call to the degree, because if it's an act of self-defense, for example. Yeah. Okay, we can go to the next one.